I've been really surprised lately because there are a couple troops that you want to run in your defensive clan castle to defend against Root Riders. Let's talk about what those troops are. So for a really long time, the main meta defensive clan castle has been the Ice Golems, and the Ice Golems, while they're still good, with the Root Riders being as good as they are, the Ice Golems really aren't the best counter for them. So a couple of things have been kind of changing in the meta as far as defense goes, because Root Riders are actually so fast that the Ice Golems don't make enough of a difference. So players are going back to more of a damage defense CC to try to stop the Root Riders. So I am going to give you guys a few different troop combinations to try on defense if you're getting hit with a lot of Root Rider attacks. The first troop, which is surprising, this is a troop that I've told people not to use in their clan castles for such a long time, and it's going to be the Super Dragon. The Super Dragon is actually quite good on defense now, and not just against Root Riders, and we'll kind of take a look at some examples of how the Super Dragon is doing. So the Super Dragon is 40 housing space, and you can pair up whatever you would like with it. You can fit a balloon or two, depending on how much housing space you have to work with. Or you can do a headhunter and some archers, or just straight up archers. Doesn't matter. The main thing is that the Super Dragon is there. So why am I suddenly, I guess, changing my mind as far as running Super Dragon on defense? Well, there's a couple reasons. The last time I talked about defensive troops and said Super Dragons are bad, well, the Super Dragons got a new level since then, and they are definitely hitting harder. They got more HP. The other reason is, in a Root Rider attack, there's not a lot that can actually take down the Super Dragon, so the Super Dragons can actually get quite a few shots in and do quite a bit of damage and potentially disrupt a Root Rider attack. It doesn't just apply to Root Riders either. We've seen the same thing with Lalo. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples. So here's an example. We do have the Super Dragon with 2 balloons coming out. The Warden's ability has been popped and the poison has been dropped, but the Super Dragon is able to stay up because there's not a lot in there to actually take it down. And you can see it does get a chunk of damage on those Root Riders before ultimately that Poison Lizard takes it down. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few more. All right, so we do have the 2 balloons again. We got the poison spell, but look, there's nothing really around the Root Riders there, and that Super Dragon gets almost half of their health down before the wizards step in and actually take it down. And actually, he's got to drop freezes here, so he's investing spells, extra spells, to try to counter the Super Dragon, and it still did a ton of damage. All right, and then one last example of a Super Dragon on defense. I know this video is focused on defending against Root Riders, but I also wanted to show that the Super Dragon is not necessarily leaving you vulnerable to other attack strategies, and it's going to do a great job here on defense for a Lalo attack. So you can already see, already taking down that king very early in the attack. And now we got the queen coming in. Dragon's kind of slowed down in poison here, but the queen is going to come in, try to take this dragon down, but with the monolith and the Super Dragon and the Expo, it's too much. The queen's dead. So now we still have that Super Dragon on defense flying around, targeting some air troops. It's going to get targeted by some of these pups and minions. It's actually going to be able to turn around, take those out, and not go down. It does get pretty low here, but here we go. It takes down a few balloons, takes down the pups and minions, and then it's going to go in and take down even more balloons before finally it gets stopped. And there we go. It's moving in, taking down another chunk of balloons, and then moving over to the main group of balloons, and it's going to take down a bunch of those as well before finally it does get taken down by the RC. And there we have some good examples of the Super Dragon on defense with Root Riders and with some Lalo as well. Let's take a look at some examples with the rocket balloons, because that's also going to be pretty good. And for those who are holding rocket balloons at level 10 or lower, those are actually going to be getting a buff soon, so it's going to be even better. And moving on to the next clan castle combination that has really been starting to shine against Root Riders, it's going to be this right here. We got rocket balloons with the headhunters, and if you have 4 rocket balloons and 3 headhunters, I think it works out perfectly, especially because if you're lucky, the clan castle can actually split up, because obviously the headhunters target heroes and then the rocket balloons target whatever, and that can make the attacker drop the poison in a bad spot and miss either the rocket balloons or the headhunters, both of which have the potential to cause some damage on defense. Now, I do think that this clan castle relies a little bit more on luck than the Super Dragon defense does, but it does have the potential to cause some serious damage on defense, taking out groups of Root Riders, taking out a hero potentially if the poison for the headhunters gets completely missed. A lot of these armies are super heavy on Root Riders, which aren't going to take down the headhunters. They do usually have some Valkyries which will take down the headhunters, but that's not always the case, and you can get some big damage there. So here's a hit on one of my bases, just trying to do a little bit of an example. I don't have any examples at the moment from some of the wars that we've been streaming. Let's go ahead and put this back on 1x, but I wanted to try to showcase this at least a little bit here, and you can kind of see I got the poison on the rocket balloons, but for whatever reason these ones on the right side decided to veer off to the right and take out a group of Valkyries, so that definitely helps on the defensive side of things. I don't know what happened to the headhunters, they kind of got lost in the sauce there, but those rocket balloons that dodge the poison also move in and try to get some damage on the apprentice warden there. They do get a little bit there, and yeah, not too bad as far as defense goes. All right, so in one last example here, we do have the rocket balloons moving in and getting some damage. Even though they do hit the poison, they do still take down the root riders. There were only a couple of root riders in that little group, and then usually they would still do some death damage, but there was nothing left there. The Valkyries had moved out of the way, but it did do a little bit to slow down the root riders going down the middle of this space, and that's going to help out quite a bit on a defense like this. And that's going to be it for this video today. Just a quick little update on what defensive CC troops are working better now than they did before. So definitely recommend giving these Clan Castle troops a try. If you do, let me know how they do for you down in the comments below. I would love to hear some feedback. I will be working on a new tier list for defensive Clan Castle troops, something that's a bit more updated. I'm going to kind of wait and see what happens with the new Clan Castle level, because Supercell did leak the new Clan Castle level. We thought we were going to get it earlier, but still isn't here. I want to see if we're going to get more troop space in there, but yeah, again, we'll have to wait and see. Now, your defensive Clan Castle is just a small part of your defense. If you really want to defend against root riders, which is difficult at the current state of the game, then you're going to want a good base, and we're going to be sharing some base designs with you guys here on this channel. So if you haven't already, please do consider hitting subscribe down below. That video will be coming soon, and we'll get you guys some anti-root rider base designs as well. And there you guys have it, some troops to run in your defensive Clan Castles against the root riders. If you guys want to see some really cool balloon attacks, I recommend checking out this video right here.